than critical fails when you're rolling dice for your Dungeons and Dragons campaign?
What's worse?
When the player character decides to go ahead and get swifty on you and decide to kill your enemy by making out with him. Yes, that's exactly what happened after I set up this awesome, dramatic boss encounter, and it's over in 5 minutes. It's over in 5 turns.
Yep.
I don't think I've even paraphrased. I think that's the exact amount of turns that.
Yeah, I couldn't even get off one spell.
Yes.
So
actually, less than that in that aspect.
4 turns, because it was going to take me 3 turns to fire the spell, but 1 turn I got grappled, and I had to spend that turn struggling.
Though to be fair, that was during the turn I was getting made out with to death. Yes. Because so what happened is that we were doing our session for Ravenloft, and the evil villain that I've been building up for, I made as a plot point, he has a deathly or somewhat deathly allergic reaction to red oak. Yeah. And so the question was going to become, well, how do you feed someone red oak? And Tails' answer to that question was direct mouth-to-mouth
lip locking.
Yeah, consummation, I guess. I'm trying to think of the more medical term that would make this joke funnier. Mouth-to-mouth, yeah, I guess mouth-to-mouth consummation would be the way to do it. But yeah, which went ahead and did that, and then the rest of my stamina was zorped up by Legend's character, who decided to go ahead and use his magical sword of undeath to drain me down to 0 stamina.
Yep. That was fun.
So if the allergic reaction didn't kill me, that would have.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, by the way, we should mention that Legend is not here this time. He's predisposed to family obligations.
Family obligations? I thought he was going to the Writers Guild again.
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll have his own stories to talk about that. But hello, everyone. Welcome to the Legend Hunters featuring Moozy.
I thought it was featuring Shenanigans.
No, Shenanigans are a welcome addition to the Legend.
No, Shenanigans are the name of the game.
I thought it was all our middle names.
Leo Shenanigan Force?
Yes. Death Shenanigan 0?
Legend Shenanigan Hunter? What the fuck is your last name for this, Moozy?
Suki.
Oh yeah, Suki.
Moozy Shenanigan Suki.
Yeah. Don't die on us. Anyway.
So how was your week, Moozy?
Hot.
Nah, it's not that hot.
For the first time in 4 years, it hit over 90 degrees here.
Ooh.
Explain to us when it gets to 100.
No, for us, that's a lot.
So you.
No, I can imagine. I can imagine for Alaska that's hot. Can you actually see the grass now?
And we've also got some wildfires because of it. So.
Oh wow.
Well, that's a doozy.
Yeah. Certainly is. You do anything fun, Moose?
Went and saw Mummy last night.
Oh, God almighty.
So apparently the reviews for that were shite?
I had fun. Especially watching my mom watch the movie.
Oh, why is that?
Because when things get, intense on the screen, or it starts to get creepy, she tenses up.
Oh, okay.
And if you reach over and just,
tap.
poke her or grab her arm, it's like...
Oh, yeah, I love doing that to people, too. I can't do that with Zero because his reaction is to punch me.
Yes. And I would, violently.
Punching me violently as opposed to punching me what? Lovingly?
Playfully. Which is what I tend to do, usually.
When you don't hurt yourself in the process.
Oh, stop it.
It also doesn't help up here that most buildings don't have air conditioning.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it's the same reason that people don't buy flood insurance in the desert.
Even though they should, because in our area,
we had an issue with that 7 years ago, but that's been addressed.
Let's just say places like the movie theater have been really popular the last few days.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
They have AC.
Yeah, I can imagine. Game-wise?
Finished Kingdom Hearts again. Worked a little bit more on Echoes. It's still weird commanding 2 different armies in one game.
Mm-hmm. Really?
Because you can go back and forth between the 2 different armies. And they're following different paths. So you have to keep track of, like, which one is where in your head, you know? I mean, the world map is pretty easy to understand, though, so... And at least the combat is the usual Fire Emblem combat, so...
I still need to pick that game up.
You'd probably like it.
Huh.
Then I debated on whether to torment myself and play Chain of Memories or not.
Don't play Com. Do not play Chain of Memories. It's complete and utter AIDS.
That's the card game one, right?
I have the actual...
Yeah, that's the one where you're running around doing actual, like, you think you would actually be doing regular battle, but you need to use cards to out-combo the opponent.
Like...
If they have a 7, you need an 8 or higher card, or a 0, to block their attack.
Like, it sounds slightly arbitrary.
It is.
I have the actual advanced cartridge of it, like, when it came out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And
so I just went ahead and started playing Kingdom Hearts 2.
Probably the better idea.
Luckily, I already had a file that I had started before I went back and played the first one again. That I'd already gotten past the 3-hour tutorial area.
The 3-hour tutorial?
It's the beginning of the game where you're playing as Roxas.
Oh.
Yeah.
And everybody refers to
they had
it as
Roxas
a
that far
3-hour
back?
tutorial.
Yeah.
Huh.
Roxas was a thing back
even then.
Yeah.
I managed to finish that when I was playing it in like an hour and 20 minutes, so... Because I knew exactly where to go for everything, what to do, so
I
just
see.
like ping, 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 ping.
I skipped most of the cutscenes for Roxas's thing because I had already seen a
fuck 'em?
that, and I had already seen a Let's Play for it.
Well, I hadn't seen him in a while, so...
Yeah.
And I didn't know until I got to the end of the first game that with this collection you get a theme when you beat each game.
Oh, yeah. So
I was like...
Nice.
Yeah, so you
Which
now have...
actually encourages you to watch the
movies.
358 Days one, so you can get the theme for it, just to kind of... Eventually we'll have to do Chain of Memories, because you're going to want to complete having all of the themes. It's when do you want to put yourself through it is the biggest question.
Yeah, it's just completing the game, not 100%ing it.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, that would otherwise be asinine.
But for the Recoded and 358 Days Over 2, you actually have to both watch the movie and look through all the different little hidden files on the main menu to 100%
That's not
it.
too bad, though.
You can just scroll through them, not even having to read them.
You also still need to pick
It
up...
got me through the
HD
3
2.8.
fucking bananas. I'm sorry, we're playing Mario Kart here, and I have 3 fucking bananas up, and it still shot me through them.
Fucking red shells.
Yes.
Yeah, anyway...
You still need to pick up Kingdom Hearts, the 2.8 collection.
Oh, God, yeah, I need to do that. I did actually... can I go ahead and start going into my week, or is there anything else you want to talk about?
I spent most of the week fighting off a migraine.
Hey,
Ouch.
that sucks.
It was in a cycle.
Hey,
It would kind of go away, and then it would come back.
that ain't
But
fun.
it didn't help that it was too hot to sleep, so I couldn't sleep it off.
Oh, God, yeah, that must be terrible.
Especially when you take some of these meds, and they make you, like, really drowsy, and then you can't sleep. You're, like, stoned the next day.
Really? It's that bad?
Well, you feel like you are, because you're just sitting there like, I want to sleep.
Aww.
It's like, no. I think I've finally gotten rid of that. I, took the migraine med and the one that's supposed to help me sleep at a slightly higher dose and just conked out.
Good.
Jeez. So sorry,
Luckily,
Moose.
Luckily, I'm allowed to take it at a slightly higher dose.
Okay, that's good at least.
Because he's like, if you feel like you need it, take an extra one. Yeah.
Alrighty then.
It's like, oh, thank God, finally some sleep.
Good. All right, Zara, how about you talk about your week?
My week's been here and there. I beat Kingdom Hearts 2 finally.
So we heard, yes.
And I started Birth by Sleep.
How is that going for you?
The system for it is very strange.
It's different, and it takes some getting used to. I actually have the PSP version, like when it first came out.
Yeah, and like what's it called? The battle system that it uses? The
command deck.
The command deck.
It's actually, once you get used to it, it's actually pretty efficient.
Yeah.
It gives you a way to keep stringing your attacks together.
I know that. It's just it's weird to cycle through it.
Okay, so Birth by Sleep. I'm trying to remember which one this is in the timeline.
It's the very first one, the prequel.
Oh, this is the one with Aqua, Terra, and Ventus?
Ventus, yeah.
Ventus?
That it's hilarious.
Their names are Water, Earth, and Wind.
Yes. I thought he was going to go for
it makes sense.
I was going to say, is he trying to go for an Earth, Wind, and Fire reference here?
It pretty much is.
Well, except it's not the...
It's Earth, Wind, and Water.
Yeah, I'm saying it's the wrong...
But it also complements their fighting styles, so...
Yeah, like Terra is slow but strong.
Yes.
Aqua's the mage, and Ventus is fast and quick.
Gotcha.
And the order you're supposed to go in is Terra's story first, then Ventus, then finally Aqua.
Right.
Screw that. I play Ventus first.
Well, technically, I know people tend to save Ventus for last because his final boss battle is actually the best of them. With Vanitas.
The best part is, though, is that when you go through it, even though you're playing the same technical story through each one, you're seeing different parts to the different worlds with each character. And they have different interactions with the characters.
Yeah.
So it's not just we're going to pad the gameplay by having 3 people. It's actual differences.
Yeah, I just remember it being like very repetitive from what Gerardo was saying when he did his review of that game.
Yeah, it is kind of repetitive. Because I've actually seen multiple playthroughs of it. Mm-hmm. So I'm actually wondering if I should play it.
I have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's something different.
Well, I guess it all depends on personal preference.
Yeah.
So, other than that, I really haven't been doing much. I've tried to play a little bit of Monster Hunter Generations, because I'm trying to get ready for when Double Cross comes out, or whatever it's going to be called in the U.S.
Second generation. I'm betting you it's going to be second generation. Because otherwise, if there is a third one, they're going to have issues with the third one coming out.
Well,
because Triple Cross does not fit well on a board.
No, it really doesn't.
Yeah, they're going to have to work on the symbol for that one either.
Yeah, another reason I want you to get the other HD collection is because it's got Dream Drop distance on it, and that one's slightly different as well.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking Donkey Kong right at the end.
Yep.
Unbelievable, Decker.
2-star. Fucking hell.
Unbelievable.
Anything
else with your week?
Donkey Kong.
Nothing else. My week's actually been pretty boring for the most part. And
we will fix that.
Maybe.
We will fix that.
Mine's been pretty boring too, so it's not just you.
Alright, so anything else going on with your week other than
For me? Okay, I can go into my week. Let's see, I had my birthday, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Yay!
Went out for barbecue stuff.
Still need to get you a gift.
Don't worry about it.
Alright. Stop petting my head.
But your
I
head
rated his
Do that again and I will bite your fingers off.
Your head is so pettable, though.
Don't.
Okay.
I'm serious.
All right.
I rated Leo's Steam list,
yes.
so...
Yes, Muzi rated my Steam wish list and got me some things, so thank you very much, Muzi.
It was easier than trying to ship something.
Amongst the things that I got were, I got Nier for the PS3.
Oh, cool.
So I'm going to go ahead and play through that before I can get into Automata. I got Monster Hunter 4U, so the guys would stop bothering me about joining them for hunts.
Well, you got For You, which is the one that we're not all playing.
Well, because that's the one that has a tutorial, and apparently it's the only one that also has a story mode.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of interested in seeing how that plays out. And then I got Dragon Quest VII and what was and Bravely Second.
Ah, so you're finally going to play
I need
Bravely
to
Second.
actually go
Yeah,
back
well, I
and
still
play
need
that.
I still need to play Bravely Default first.
You want me to lend you my copy?
No, I have a copy. It's just that my backlog is so damn full that that it's gonna take me a while unless I start powering through my games.
Yeah.
Let me see. We had the thing with the Pokemon Direct that came out right before this past week.
Which we did a discussion video for that.
Discussion video for that.
Oh yeah, I already pre-ordered Ultra Sun and Moon.
Jeez. I'm gonna wait till I head back to Iowa before I do that, just so that way I can get it while I'm there. Because there's
Well, I
no
look at
point.
it this way: 5 down on each one isn't a problem.
Yeah.
Because I've got time to
Yeah.
put little bits on them.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's not that big of a deal. Excited to see Gold and Silver come back out.
Yay!
Yeah, that
I
was.
still feel
I think
jammed.
that was the generation I played the most.
I'm inclined to agree with you on that.
I still feel jammed.
Aside from Ruby and Sapphire.
What other games did I play? I remember playing, let me see. Did a little bit of Platinum since my way back. Only other thing I can think of that I did of note is I'm running out of options, I'm afraid. Yeah, I think that covers it for the week. Nothing. Well, there is one thing of note that I could say.
Oh.
Some dude tried to go ahead and get me to give him a handout so he could buy drugs.
What?
Yeah, that was a fun day.
You're like, no.
The basic sentence broke down to, "Hey, dude, I'm sorry that girl blew you off while you were at Starbucks. It's okay, man. You want to help me buy drugs?" It's like, and that is at the point. That is the short summary for what was a very one-sided 5-minute discussion of why that dude is in the shitter, in so many words.
Jesus Christ.
You're like, dude, no.
Yeah, in so many words. Perhaps I should have been more blunt, but that is my mistake. So yeah, that covers my week.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah,
It's
so
like, good lord. Besides that, most of us have had pretty boring weeks.
Pretty much.
pretty boring weeks. Well, we do have Ravenloft, but unfortunately, without Legend here, it's not as fun to
Discuss.
go over the things with him.
Reminisce.
Yeah, so we won't go over that in too much detail. We'll save that for another. We're probably gonna have to do. We probably should start doing Ravenloft things as a separate podcast.
Maybe.
Because
That's keep in mind, that's more work for me.
yes, but the reason I say that is because number one, it would be a good way for you to get plot points.
Oh, good lord.
Also, because of the fact that at the rate that our current podcasts are going out, or at least the next one coming out, that is going to be all E3, and we are not going to have any room for much else. And then we're taking breaks, so we're probably going to need to start doing Ravenlaw podcasts separate.
Yeah, I suppose so. We do.
What we'll need, the way to do it would be we get Legend in here. We do a big session where it's just episode 0 up to this point, and then we start doing them chronologically.
Maybe.
And then we put them out as we come. And that way you get your writing chops, we get more stuff put out, and there you go.
I suppose so. We'll have to plan this out later when we're all together and stuff like that.
Sure. All right. So let's go into the news.
First
It's
up,
the nonsense time.
Yes, it's time for the nonsense.
we got 2 what the fuck moments of the week. First
Yes.
off is Ubisoft actually changed its logo for the first time in 14 years, and the internet knows why.
Because it's a pile of duty.
It literally looks like a pile of crap if you turn it on its side.
Well, that's in the unrunning joke for the internet since the redesign was published.
Yeah,
It sucks.
I preferred the old Ubisoft design, and I don't like Ubisoft.
That's saying something.
Yeah, because it was a nice little hypnotic spiral, hypnotizing you into buying their games.
And immediately the spell is broken upon seeing the Uplay splash screen whenever you start up one of their games.
Yeah.
Pretty much the only Ubisoft thing I play is Assassin's Creed. So.
Lucy, don't support them. Don't support them. Don't support EA.
But I mean, stick of truth.
No.
The fractured but whole.
I hate South Park.
Yes,
I
I know
will-
you hate South
I
Park.
will bellow it from the tallest tower in El Paso.
Well, Legend will take you to it. He'll be your Sherpa. Because I'm pretty sure you're going to pass out before you get up there.
No. My rage.
You are going to get carted like in Monster Hunter 4 from being winded walking up there.
Oh, shut up. Unless there's a fucking Gormagala up there. Although knowing how Legend is, there might be.
No, it's just Cthulhu.
No, that's Legend.
Yeah, that is Legend.
Seriously, if you want to know how we can describe Legend, the best answer is Cthulhu. It's incomprehensible, mind-boggling, and being around him raises your insanity meter.
But in a fun way.
Usually. Debatable. Recently, I've wanted to slug it more often than not.
Yes, but that might have to do with your own instability.
But that's what best friends are for.
Really?
Raindrops keep falling on my head.
I'm gonna smack you for that.
You did, and I blocked it.
Anyway.
But more importantly, let's get to the actual WTF moment that no one was expecting.
Bubsy is back.
Bubsy the back. No, you gotta say it in the most annoying nasally voice possible.
Bubsy is back!
There you go.
Oh god, how did I do that?
You pinched your nose and you put your throat up real high.
Ugh.
Burn it with fire.
You have a Bubsy voice now.
What could possibly go wrong?
No,
Everything.
slightly more nasally.
What could possibly go wrong? Oh, god damn it.
Anyway,
Everything.
yes,
Everything could go wrong.
it is true. Well, so here's the thing. So apparently the so-called catalyst was someone who actually put a Bubsy stand-in in Sonic Forces.
Really?
Someone basically photoshopped that in, and then they found out that no wait, there's actually a game coming out.
In other
Yeah.
words, they tried to troll and then got trolled back.
Oh, they trolled, and the universe trolled back.
It's not only the Sonic Boom thing, it's from countless years of people showing off how bad Bubsy's games and Bubsy 3D was.
And the cartoon.
And the cartoon, so we can blame the AVGN for this.
The completionist.
The completionist. Pro Jared.
Who else?
Fuck if I know, but those are the big three that I can think off the top of my head. That is like, oh wait, I think Kid Icarus also did it too.
Oh yeah, Caddy did too.
But yeah, we can blame those chuckle fucks for this as well. Anyone who's ever mocked Bubsy
Prior to this moment.
prior to this moment, this is blood on their hands.
In other words, all of us.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, of course, it is going to be a 2D platformer.
Like the original two games.
Like the original 2 games before the 3D terrible one.
Well, it looks like a 3D, 2D platformer, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 2.5.
Yeah.
2.5D. But either way, it's going to boast off its various features, and we're supposed to get more details coming up during E3.
I don't want any more details. That's all the info I wanted.
It's too bad there is going to be more, and you will like it.
I saw the gameplay itself. It didn't seem bad. It just seemed generic.
Well, I mean,
It is a 2D platform.
they're going safe until they decide to go with the WTF, and then everyone is going to cry.
Because that's just how it goes.
Right. Any other comments, Moose?
Why?
Yeah, that pretty much covers everyone whose initial reaction was to
Well,
see that.
I think Akari was beating his head on his desk, so
Yes.
He was screaming.
that pretty much sums up everyone's reaction to this right now.
He was screaming through the Skype chat. I swear I could hear it from Alaska.
He wouldn't take a scream pillow.
Anyway.
I don't blame it.
Indeed.
It would have shredded it.
Speaking of Akari, before we move any further, we have some slightly saddening news to report on this podcast date.
Yeah, Adam West just died, which is pretty sad, to be honest.
Yes, Adam West of Batman and Family Guy fame.
Of my childhood is gone.
Yeah.
And your adulthood if you watch Family Guy.
I don't watch Family Guy.
I remember Adam West actually from The Fairly Odd Parents, where he played Catman.
Oh yeah, he was Catman too, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He did
No, he was Catman specifically.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
He
Miss?
touched so many different aspects of different fandoms that it's ridiculous.
Oh yeah.
He was in Batman the Animated Series too, as
Yes!
as literally the character that inspired Batman in that series to become Batman.
Really?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It was like a little play on of Batman and history and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
He's
So-
to Batman like Leonard Nimoy was to Star Trek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're losing a lot of iconic people.
I know! What the hell?
Everybody's growing older.
Really stinks is it was leukemia, too.
Aww.
Yeah, that's
Made it sad. Alright. Let's try and move on. Alright, so Pokemon Go updates.
Yeah.
Yay!
So the biggest thing that's coming over the summer is that well, it's a number of things, but the biggest, they are doing live events for their 1 year or 2 year?
It's 1 year.
For their 1 year anniversary.
1 year, 750,000 downloads.
Wow, 750,000 downloads. That's quite a bit.
The more recent thing they're doing, though, is I think it's the 13th. For a few days, they're doing a Fire and Ice event.
So you'll catch more Fire and Ice Pokemon, which...
Yeah, it's kind of a solstice thing, since different areas, obviously, are hitting winter and summer, so they're like, hey, let's do a Fire and Ice one.
Sure, I'm pretty sure. So I'm pretty sure everyone's going to be craving one or the other.
In
Which
our
works
area,
for me
we're going to be
because I
getting
need
more Fire Pokemon, I'm
Cyndaquils,
betting.
and I need more Houndours.
Well, no, I think they're going to do the reverse.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so since we're fire dominated, they're going to give us more ice and
Okay.
Actually,
Oh
it's
god, I'm
supposed to
picturing
be
a
both.
Jinx just walking down through this desert heat and just melting.
I believe it's supposed to be both
No.
everywhere.
No Sweetie Sweetie?
No! Drop it, Leo. Drop it, or I will smack you with my Switch controller.
I believe it's supposed to be both everywhere. Increased spawns of fire and ice everywhere.
Oh, okay.
So...
Amongst some of the other things that they're changing, PvP, they're actually going to make that a thing now.
Oh, really? They'll finally do that?
Yes.
Cool, I can use my 3000 CP 100% IV Dragonite.
See, at this point, I don't think I should even bother getting into Pokemon Go because of the fact that if I run into anyone, I am going to get my butt whooped to me.
Oh no, there's tons of people who are just starting out, which is another reason they're doing a bunch of cool events like, the Fire and Ice one. They're trying to make it so that way people who are just starting out can get a foothold in like how many Pokemon that they're able to get.
Really?
And
True,
different
but
kinds. And
if you look at any of the gyms around here, there's like 4,000 CP Pokemon at every single stop.
Well, it's a good thing you mentioned that because that's going to become a moot point.
Really?
Yep,
They are
gyms
removing
being
gyms.
reworked.
Really?
Yes. Because they realized that it was more of a hindrance than it was a boon, and so they scrapped the idea.
Which sucks because my 3000 CP Dragonite's in a gym and I've been getting a guaranteed 10 coins every day.
Yeah, well, unlike us, in this area, there was no goddamn way we'd be able to keep a gym for longer than 5 seconds.
Instinct.
And the funniest part is it's the Santa Claus house gym.
The Santa Claus house gym.
Are you mocking me, you Valor piece of crap?
Not mocking you. This would be mocking you.
I will punch you.
You asked for that one.
I will.
You asked for that one.
I will punch you in the throat.
You asked for that one.
Most of the gyms in North Pole are Mystic.
Makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
In
no, but there's also a lot of
Fairbanks,
Mystic around
it's
here
a
too.
mixture.
Yeah, that's true. Mystic is the primary one,
Well-
then Valor, and then Instinct.
Instinct is the new Hufflepuff.
Oh, shut up.
You know that's actually a little bit true.
Yeah, it's a little bit on the nose. And then if you want to go
But
with...
that's not a bad thing, though.
Yeah, no, but if you want to go with the full 4-house analogy, you have Mystic as Ravenclaw, you have Instinct as Hufflepuff, Valor is Gryffindor, and Team Rocket is Slytherin.
Which for me is really weird because every like test thing that I do, I get Gryffindor. So you think I'd be in Valor, right?
Let's see. Mystics are the trainers. Valors are the fighters.
And Instinct are the breeders, allegedly.
Yeah.
I forgot to say, I finally did the impossible. I caught a shiny Magikarp
Oh, God.
with my plus.
Nice.
I still haven't gotten a plus, but then again, I don't think I've turned on Pokemon Go in months.
You should though. It's still actually fun.
And the problem is, it's now summer.
Come on.
The best part though is that if you did get a plus, which a lot of the GameStops recently have pluses, like ours up here has them.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're like $30, $40.
It's worth it because you can lock your phone.
Yeah, but the problem is, it still
tracking
drains my data and battery like a motherfucker. And because my parents run a racehorse business, they are using it to always watch racehorse races that are coming up. So they're draining the data faster than I can.
That's impressive. That is impressive.
Yeah?
Although...
Even using Pokemon Go for like a week, like being out of the house a lot, using my plus, I can lock my phone, so all it's doing is channeling through the plus, and I'm barely using any data whatsoever.
Really?
I would be curious just to see what the numbers are for that.
Yeah.
Oh, and the last thing on the Pokemon Go is that they're finally releasing legendaries.
Yeah. But I'm willing to bet they're going to be like big event things where... The question is, will only one person be able to get it, or... Because if that's the case, that's kind of dickish.
That's a good question. They haven't really announced details on how they're going to do that.
I haven't reset my cellular data tracking since like May 21st, and I've used Pokemon Go quite a bit since then, and I've only used 233 megabytes.
Wow. That's actually really good then.
Because what they've done is all of the like sprites for the different Pokemon and stuff,
Yes.
it's server side now.
Okay, so they've actually optimized their system.
They
Yeah, a lot of the stuff like that is server side. So you're not burning through as much data, and the best part, if you did get a plus, is you'd be able to lock your phone, so it wouldn't drain your battery so fast.
Well, I do need to update it anyway, so...
There you go.
Yeah,
I'll update it
So-
and see what it says.
yeah, if you manage to get a hold of a plus, it would be a boon, especially if you're like just out like walking. It tracks the distance better.
The closest
Pokestop.
Pokestop is like the park that's like a mile away.
It's less than a mile.
Yeah. And I've actually gone 2 different ways to get to it. One, I've taken the normal street route.
Yes.
The other way, I actually went through the back of my house because beyond there's just like a walking park area.
Yes.
And I've walked through there.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if Pokemon would appear out there.
You would be surprised.
They might. They appear in the weirdest places.
I mean,
and I appreciate the tracking system that they have now. You know, since they a while back implemented the newer tracking system with the Pokestops that they could be near. It helps so much when you're hunting down a Pokemon.
The other
That's
closest
on the nearby.
Pokestop is a gas station or like a park, like a walkway park starting like right by the Howdies.
Oh yeah. That's
Well, and with the plus, even if you're driving, if you're going like 25 or below, you can get the Pokestops.
So just cruising distance.
Just by hitting the button.
Or just like gliding distance.
I've tried to. I've never been able to be fast enough.
It's easier to do with the Plus because it has a slightly bigger range.
So the Plus actually magnifies the range.
Yeah, and all it takes when you have to change the battery is like one of those bigger watch batteries.
Oh, so it's not even like one of those are. How long do the batteries last? Would be the question.
Yeah, that's the
question.
question.
Well, it depends on how much you use it, but we haven't had to change these very often at all. You can get a 2-pack of the batteries that this thing runs on, I think, for like $5, depending on where you get it.
Really?
Yeah.
There's a 500 CP Murkrow right in my house.
Yeah.
At least you can get Pokemon to spawn inside your house without an incense.
Yeah, it's weird. I've seen some of the weirdest Pokemon pop up.
The anticipation was killing our listeners.
Yeah. Oh, shut up. Anyway, let's move on to the next.
We'll cover the next. We'll cover the next story while you're doing this. This one won't interest you anyway. The Xbox One is promising a Dreamcast emulator for the Xbox One.
Oh, goody! We can actually play Seaman on the that.
Perhaps more appropriately, you will be playing classics like Sonic Adventure or Skies of Arcadia.
Or Jet Set Radio.
Or Jet Set Radio, absolutely. Or Space Channel 5.
And people who like Shenmue are going to like this because they can play that.
They can play the original Shenmue.
Oh, good lord.
Is it Shenmue or Shenmue? Because I know people
I'm not sure.
I think people say Shenmue because they want to upset the weeaboos.
Maybe.
Yes.
Okay. But that will be a thing, so that one is there for people who need it. More interestingly, however, Sonic Mania!
Oh.
So,
yay, I finally caught it.
There you go. Good. Welcome back.
Alright, so Sonic Mania. We saw a preview for it, which was a really cool animation, and...
Yeah, that was actually pretty interesting when I watched that.
And of course it had music from...
Hyper Potions.
Yep.
Yes, for those who do not know, Hyper Potions are a electronic
music group.
Electronic music group. Two dudes who go ahead and make video game sounding musics.
And their icon is 2 corgis.
2 adorable corgis.
Yep. And their music was really damn good, and I've had it looping in my head. And surprisingly, I'm not a Sonic fan. I know I've said this before. I'm not a Sonic fan, but Sonic Mania actually looks good.
Yes, it does. It looks like a classic Sonic game.
I'm actually retaining a little bit of hope.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So
everyone retains a little bit of hope, but they are promising. At least they are promising playable Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles.
Okay. Hey, Moosey, I want you to do some math for me on this Murkrow.
Oh, good lord.
Okay. Can you figure out his IVs and stuff like that really quickly?
Let me pull up the... Come on, Internet. Come on.
This is what we call breaking the flow, Zero.
Oh, shut up. Anyway, Sonic Mania looks really good.
Yes.
And stuff like that.
It will be coming out in August, so you won't have to wait too long to try it out.
And I think it's coming out for everything, including the Switch.
I think pretty much everything is going to run it, even Steam.
Yeah.
So
I think I might get it for the Switch, because that would be a great portable Sonic game.
Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't mind doing that for the channel when it came. If you guys would do it for the channel when it came out.
Ooh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Like maybe a one-off, maybe.
Yeah.
Another thing I'd like to do now that we have you in town.
Yes.
Live streaming.
We could try it. We would have to work that out.
We do have a Legend Hunters Twitch channel. It's never been used before.
We also have my personal Twitch channel, which I've hardly used.
Yeah.
We have actual stable connection. We could try that.
Okay.
But yes, we will. We can. There are many options that we are looking to explore. We just need people to be interested in them. All right. Let's actually go over some 3DS RPGs.
Oh yes, Atlas is releasing 3 JRPGs to North America in 2007 and 18. One of them I am really looking forward to.
And the other 2 I'm more than happy to talk about.
Yeah. Okay, so the first one
Muzi, have you heard any of these 3?
I think I've heard. Obviously, I've heard of Shimengan.
Yeah, we talked about that one.
Yeah. So the first one is Etrian Odyssey.
I think I've heard of Radiant Historia before.
Yeah.
So.
Why don't you talk about that one, Zero?
Okay, Radiant Historia was originally a Nintendo DS game, an RPG that involved time travel mechanics where you would go back and forth between two different timelines and they would kind of intersect and meet up. So what you did in one affected the other, sort of, so you could progress the storyline.
Okay.
And the combat was kind of like a grid-based system where you would push enemies into like clusters, lift them up into the air, and do combos on them.
That's where that is where I said no, thank you.
Yeah, where it was interesting, where you don't have to do that, but that actually helps you to.
Right. It's just that I've had experiences with grid systems like that, and they started to get on my nerves.
Well, it's only the enemies in a grid system.
Okay.
The enemies are in the grid system, and you have specific moves that can either pull enemies forward, push them back, move them left or right, and moves that can lift them up. So the best thing you're trying to do is put all the enemies into one square, lift them up into the air, and do a bunch of combos.
So
it's actually got also like the time gauge from Final Fantasy X.
Really?
Where you can manipulate the how many turns are going on.
Mm-hmm.
Which is actually really interesting. And again, the story is amazing, and what they're doing for this is they're doing all new character art for it. Like, the princess in there, in the original Radiant Historia, had like really short hair and braided.
Mm-hmm.
Now she has long flowing hair. They've redone a lot of the concept art.
Mm-hmm.
And of course there's like this one machine armed metal badass knight that's really cool. And it's a really good game. Since they're making a remake for it for the 3DS, I'd highly recommend picking it up, as versions of the DS version are rare and hard to come by and will probably run you about $30.
I was about to say.
Will say that I would dispute everything except the $30 price tag.
Well, I saw one at the local GameStop for like about $25.
Yeah, but anyway, it's still a good game. Zero highly recommends it. The other two, we've talked about Shin Megami Tensei, American title Strange Journey Rideau, which was originally Deep Strange Journey.
Yes, which is a Shin Megami Tensei game that takes place in Antarctica when a dark void appears and monsters start spilling out.
Right, and it's an S&T game. You got your light and chaos path, although now they're also introducing a third, I guess I want to say tertiary antagonist, because it's a character who comes out solely for the purpose of wanting to stop you in the face. So, again, details are hush-hush. We'll have to see how that goes when the game comes out.
And the final one is Etrian Odyssey. Muzi, have you played Persona Q?
No.
Oh, well, it's kind of like that. Basically...
No. Etrian Odyssey is the system that Persona Q used.
Yes.
Because it was that game. It was Persona's. It's essentially a Persona licensed Etrian Odyssey game.
Yeah.
And so what it is, it's that you go through a series of dungeons,
first person
view, mapping them out, and usually on the floors there are usually large enemies called FOEs that are to be avoided because they will push your shit in.
Yes.
So you have to map around them, find alternative ways to deal with them until you become strong enough
to deal with said FOEs.
To deal with said FOEs, it usually involves coming back after beating the next dungeon.
Yes. Usually by the time you've gotten through the second dungeon, you can take on the previous dungeon's FOEs, and you can get some really nice stuff from that.
But it essentially involves grinding for enemy materials to buy and make new items, to be able to increase your overall potential. It's a class-based party dungeon crawler. You can have up to 5 different party members with you, and you can. There's the job system. You choose between different classes, and usually about midway through the game, you have the option to multi-class. And so it's really in depth. And since 4, they've been making a lot more quality of life improvements to make it easier. Aside from just an overall easy mode, they've made the map hunting easier. They've made leveling up easier. You're not so grind heavy. And it's a pretty good game. They haven't released too much in details, although for Etrian Odyssey, because it's usually a much more niche fan base, they typically go ahead and they'll do like a class trailer and stuff like that.
Okay.
So Etrian Odyssey is coming out in the fall of 2017. And the other 2 are coming out in 2018.
Yeah, early on in the spring.
Early on 18. So let's talk about one of the games that came out for the Switch, Disgaea 5.
Oh yeah, Disgaea. That's interesting. It was originally on the PS4, but
Yes.
the idea of playing a Disgaea game on the go.
Well, that's what people have been doing with the Vita for years.
Oh yeah, that's true. They were all originally on the Vita.
Well, no, they came on the PlayStation systems, but then they would get remakes for the Vita, and
those were usually like higher.
higher quality usually included more continuity from other games, better graphics, better balance. But the biggest thing that people have been enjoying about Disgaea 5 on the Switch, achievements.
Really?
Think about it. What Nintendo game can you think of has an achievement system?
Jack shit for the most part.
Exactly. So to really establish this is not just a handheld console, you need achievements.
Yeah. Why hasn't Nintendo done like the gamer score or trophies things?
Because it probably probably some sort of disincentivization for playing the game just to have fun rather than to encourage people to rack up a gamer score. Because you know those people existed when that thing came out for the first time.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
It's probably a Japanese quality of life product in mind idea.
It's actually kind
But
of a
Sony
relief most
is
of the time
Japanese.
not to have to worry about stuff like that.
Yeah, except Sony probably did it because of their American cycle. Is that it's a lot less. It's a lot more equal between Sony of America and Sony of Japan versus Nintendo of America and Nintendo of Japan. Also consider that Sony kind of is relying on their PS4 now, so they're willing to give more things to the game developers. So there's a number of reasons.
All right,
But let me ask you, Mizzy, what would you think about, say, having achievements for the Switch as a whole for things like, say, Breath of the Wild or Mario Kart?
Probably be pretty cool. There'd probably be some interesting ones for Breath of the Wild.
I think so too, and I think that especially for Breath of the Wild, it would. You know what? That's why they don't do it for Breath of the Wild. Because
there probably would be like some sort of like cross-dressing achievement. You know, you have to do something weird.
Well, you have that. You have things like that, but I'm thinking more to the point of they would not want to spoil event. They would not want to put data in there that would then say you get this trophy for beating this achievement that could totally be hacked, and then there's spoilers out on the interwebs.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember that that Nintendo really, really hates people who go ahead and spoil the games early.
Yeah, they really do.
Which is why they removed story mode in Smash 4.
Atlas has kind of been on that too with Persona 5.
Though to be fair, that's in part because they understand that's the game that they're making, and sort of like if you watch the cutscenes, is there a point to really playing the game since it's story based? Versus, I think it has to do with whether or not you want the games to be experienced or not.
I suppose.
And I think that's where Nintendo's argument for it is. Let us know in the comments if you guys think Nintendo should include a Nintendo score for your Nintendo ID.
Well, and it also depends on the type of game too.
Right. I think for stuff like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or Pokémon Tournament DX, I think that'd be a great addition. For other ones like Breath of the Wild, I can see why they wouldn't. But that is again it's a very interesting thing. Would you say facet of video gaming now? Achievements?
Yeah, that's something that kind of happened around the...
It was around the last generation with PS3, Xbox 360.
Yeah, that's pretty much when it started coming about. I think I remember some older games having...
well, I mean, like
some achievements.
Yeah, but but that's usually within their own game. They usually don't have it like share your gamer score with other people and show off how big your dick is.
Yeah, I don't think they ever had that.
Right. So that was an interesting little thing that I thought was popping out. Speaking of RPGs, while we're still on the topic, could you go ahead and pronounce that word for me, please? The one that's highlighted red.
Lost Sphear.
Just pronounce it as normal?
Yeah.
You would pronounce it Sphear?
No.
Meh.
Meh. Well,
No.
lost Sphear.
No, that's Sphere.
No,
That's how you pronounce
EAR. No, it's EAR. It's
I know that, but Sphere. That's literally how it's pronounced.
Sphear. I'm just gonna butcher the pronunciation until whatever.
That's how you.
Yes, I know how it's spelled, but that's not the joke I'm trying to make.
Shit, sorry.
Anyway, Lost Spiro is coming from Square Enix and the creators of I Am Setsuna of all people.
Weird, considering I Am Setsuna wasn't really all that good a game.
Well, no, I Am
I've
Setsuna.
actually watched the trailer for this, and it actually looks interesting.
Well, it looks interesting, but I'm more curious to the fact that Square Enix is teaming up with the people who made I Am Setsuna.
Which is the people who made a Chrono Trigger
Fan game.
pretty much.
Fan game. So, does this mean that there's a change in the winds, or was this a really specific one exception?
I'm calling a one exception thing because I doubt they're ever going to make another Chrono game. Because
Honestly, I would like to see another Chrono game.
let's see, we got Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross. There was another one if I recall right.
I mean, not counting remakes, right?
Not counting remakes, but because I'm actually going to look this up.
Okay, go look this up. Muzi, what do you think? Do you think that more developers should cooperate with fan game developers?
It could actually be a boon to a lot of.
Oh yeah,
different
Radical Dreamers.
series.
Okay, what is this Radical Dreamers? Because I've never even heard of this.
I think it's like a Radical Dreamers is a right after Chrono Trigger's release. It was a Gaiden or a side story to Chrono Trigger.
Really?
Yes, it was. I think it was a not a text adventure game or it's a visual novel game.
Oh, okay, that's why I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I think it was only released in Japan. Yeah, it was only released in Japan in
Okay.
'96.
But apparently, it would have been really helpful to explain why Chrono Trigger became Chrono Cross.
Pretty much. Chrono Break. Symbol trademark. Let's see. No official announcement was made. It was just a trademark.
Yeah, it was a project that fell through.
Yeah.
Oh well. But yeah, so that's going to be a thing. Looks interesting. We'll see how it goes.
Well, and it'd be kind of a boon to a lot of series to have these companies bring in these fans and smaller developers who could bring in interesting fresh breath of air into some of the series
Absolutely.
that have just been rehashed.
Yeah.
Because people are constantly coming up with fan games and fan ideas for these different series.
Right. Especially for ones that have been long forgotten, Mega Man, Metroid, Star Fox.
Yeah.
Actually, I take back that last one because I don't think I've even seen a Star Fox fan game, but still, the point remains.
Yeah. Well, I have seen some people do an actual aerial game in the style of the original Star Fox.
Okay.
But that's on my art site. I don't know if that's actually going to become a game or not.
Okay, it's concept art.
The concept, actually learning how to use the Unity and stuff like that.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Let's go over some independent stuff that we have here. Inflatality.
The fuck is this?
Oh, this is a breath. You want to talk about breath of fresh air? Let's talk about some air pumps. So what this is, I'll take care of it. What this is this is the great.
Ow, autoplay. Ow.
This is wacky inflatable tube men fighting.
Wacky inflatable arm flailing tube man fights.
Yes. And so the deal is that it's basically a Mortal Kombat inspired derpy physics fighter where you basically go ahead and slap your opponent to the death.
Good lord.
You basically, instead of choosing from a roster, you actually choose your character by making a combination of
Different
faces,
and different colors.
different mouths, faces, and colors for your character, and that affects what your character is named. But generally, it's just slap each other around until you win.
Time to cancel E3. Nothing can stop this.
They have a variety of attacks from smacking you with a squeaky hammer, a rotating helicopter hat, to summoning meteors.
Jesus Christ in a handbasket. What the fuck is this crap?
This is inflatality.
Can we actually get good games? Can we actually get fucking good games?
Well, I got 8 here on a list for you if you want to read over that right now.
Oh, let's save that for the end.
Okay, we'll save that for the end. Let's continue on with the list. Bring it back up.
All right.
All right. So we have to cover this, unfortunately, and I figured we could talk about this after the prior video because at least your salt would be a little bit reduced.
Fine.
So YouTube decides to go ahead and publish gaming channel guidelines for if you want to be monetized.
And I'd love for our channel to be monetized. I really would. But the thing is,
we're too salty.
No, it's kind of that. But here's a few issues. We can't get more popular unless we monetize. We can't get monetized because most of our stuff is gaming, and despite what YouTube says about gaming, it likes to fuck people over with the copyright content ID claims.
Well, not just with that, but specifically amongst the guidelines that were listed, amongst the things that they are going to not monetize, they're not going to monetize any compilations that would otherwise glorify violence or sexual content.
Over excessive violence.
Well,
I've gone through and read this, and if it's regular violence that's in the game, and you're not like glorifying it, then that part's okay. But if it's just violence for violence's sake, is when they have an issue with it.
Well,
that is gray area.
Well,
because some games are fucking bloody as all hell. Mad World.
Well,
there's just some games that really shouldn't be put on there anyway.
Right, but amongst some of the one of the other complaints is that what falls under that unneedlessly glorified tag can include something as simple as a fighting game compilation.
Yes.
With brutal combos because some people will punch you after you've already won. You could have something where a series of back-to-back showings of the same ultra move with different characters, which is something they do for some of the anime fighting games because everyone reacts differently to being hit by them. Fatality, Mortal Kombat, for example, fatality videos would be considered under that blatantly.
Hell, if you play Bayonetta, you've seen some of the gruesome finishers in that.
Right. So even just in normal play for some regular games, it could be considered as gratuitous. And that's only just considering...
And of course, people have...
Bayonetta would fall under it's just part of the game.
Yeah, well, the thing is, people have different levels of, oh my god, or like, this is too bad. Like, this could be easily abused.
Well, because it's all subjective, and there isn't really an
simple playthrough of Bayonetta could be too subjective for some people.
Right, and there's no objective really way to scale it without going to something along the lines of the ESRB. Which even then in of itself, it kind of seems like they've been weakened over the past.
It was originally pretty harsh, but it has weakened over time, and
because I think at this point, in order for you to actually get banned, which is an X rating, you basically have the full frontal nudity or sex, and that's basically it. You can imply sex, you can have them as close to nude as possible, but without breaking those two taboos, you're not going to get banned in America.
Yeah, like I don't even think there's such a thing as an AO game anymore.
Well, I mean, they still exist, and there's a list on Wikipedia, but no one is publishing AO games because no one will buy them then. Because none of the
retailers will sell them.
Right. So so basically, they've done it, but then because everyone keeps pushing the M rating on the line, basically it comes back to the same thing, where it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, like mature games could mean anything. It could mean just showing someone smoking a cigar.
Well,
that's teen rating.
That's teen rating. M-rated would be with alcohol.
Yeah, it could be as simple as just someone drinking heavily, to basically anything involving BioWare.
That's actually a very good summation, all things considered.
Yeah,
because I mean, even for some of the things they cover in Dead and Dragon Age and Mass Effect, we all know the real reason that they get M ratings is because of the sex.
Bingo.
Unfortunately,
because of that and the concept of gay relationships. That also is a pusher.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, there was that one game, the one with the lesbians. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That they did.
Alternative relationships is considered mature. Load of crap.
I would love to actually go into a GameStop and actually see that in the back of a box where it's, where it says the reasons why it's rated M. I would love to see that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that they don't publish it that way, but I would still think that's hilarious that they would put it that way.
Yeah.
So
All of a sudden, you're laughing randomly at GameStop, and people are just like, "What is he finding so funny?"
No, more like the cashiers going there. He saw the new ratings.
Yeah.
No, I think that's more likely to be the case in my opinion.
Anyway, next up on our list is something that's making a lot of anime fans salty as fuck.
Well, it's because we know that it's not going to end well.
Okay.
There is no way they're going to get anywhere artistically close to the original on this one.
Cowboy Bebop is getting a live-action adaptation, and unless Spike is played by Benedict Cumberbatch, there's actually Benedict Cumberbatch actually dressed up as Spike Spiegel from Cowboy Bebop, and it looks dead on.
I might actually watch it if that happened.
Okay, I'm actually going to pull up the image.
I was going to say, yeah, I need to see this because this sounds glorious.
I might actually watch it if that happened.
Oh, good. It was the first option on the... Wow, that's actually really accurate. And he even has a corgi underneath him.
Yep, he has Einstein.
Corgi?
Yes. That is surprisingly on point.
Yeah.
He's sharing it with Muzi right now. But
showing
surprisingly on point. I am really surprised with that overall.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's kind of fucking weird, huh?
Well, chances of fate. But anyway.
That's pretty on point right there.
Yeah.
So unless Benedict Cumberbatch is Spike Spiegel, and here's the... I doubt this is going to be any sorts of good. Another thing... I'm just going to go ahead and say this. This is blasphemy and heresy among the anime community. I don't like Bebop.
Okay.
I'm
don't.
not one that'll sit there and... I don't hate it, but it's not one that I'll really sit there and
so before we burn you at the stake... No, I'm just kidding. What are your complaints with it?
It's just not for me. It's...
Pretentious?
It's a little bit pretentious, a little bit up its own ass.
Yeah.
And... for a sci-fi kind of space thriller, my preference is actually more in the line of Outlaw Star.
It's just not my kind of thing either.
Hold on there.
I can see why some people like it, but it's just not my thing.
Yeah, okay. Hold on there. You're telling me you would prefer standard shonen in space over Cowboy Bebop?
Oh, you think Outlaw Star is just standard shonen?
Yeah, it's shonen with it's shonen in space.
Did you know that Will Wheaton...
Do I need to get you guys boxing gloves or what?
You know,
if you have any of the Bop'em Sock'em things, I think that'd be appreciated.
Here's a funny thing. Do you know Firefly?
I know of it.
Joss Whedon, the guy who designed it, basically ripped off Outlaw Star to make it.
Wait, what?
Yeah, there's a woman in a suitcase in Firefly, and there is a woman in a suitcase in Outlaw Star, and Outlaw Star came first.
Okay, but that's like saying that people...
Also, a brash young character wielding an iconic weapon travels around with a ragtag group of characters in an eponymously named spaceship seeking fame and glory.
Okay. But how do we know that they actually ripped it off and we're not dealing with a...
Oh god, I need to show you Ben at the Stage's video.
Okay, because my initial defense is going to be this could just be another Battle Royale situation.
No.
And trust me, there was a larger time difference between Battle Royale and the Hunger Games versus those two, I would imagine.
It was like months between the two.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So,
but the thing is, it was heavily inspired. It's shot for shot, pretty much.
We will have to continue this conversation on another day.
I can show you Outlaw Star later.
Oh no, I remember Outlaw Star.
No, I'm going to show you Ben at the Stage's review, where he compares it.
Okay, that would be something to go over. All right.
Anyway, next up.
Okay, so Valve is tightening the hatches. Haha.
On Steam Direct fees for self-publishers. it's going to be $100 to get your game on Steam.
So, if you happen to be what is the game studio that went up with Jim Sterling? It was like, I don't want to say Dynamite, it was someone else, but basically, if you wanted to go ahead and put shitpost games onto Steam, it's going to cost you $100 a pop.
Well, that was pretty much what it was on Greenlight as well.
Really?
Yeah, it was $100 to get on Greenlight.
Really? So people still paid $100 to shitpost?
Yes.
I have slightly lost more faith in humanity.
The thing is, this is supposed to be a more tightly run and more...
Well, because they're changing the guidelines for it.
They're changing the guidelines, but the fee is still the same.
Okay.
$100, so that way it doesn't push away people that are starting out. Because you could make an amazing game, but if you don't have the money for it, you can't get on. Or you could have a lot of money and make a shit game.
Right.
They're only going to keep the $100 if the game that you put on there doesn't exceed that amount.
Yeah.
And what you earn.
So basically, you have to make $100, or they give it back to you.
Yes.
Okay. That's interesting.
And for mainly, this is just to say, hey, you want to put your game on here? You need to do a front charge of $100.
I think that's relatively fair.
Yeah, they were fluctuating ideas from anywhere from $100 to like $1,000 or even more.
1,000 would be stretching it, I think, for an indie person, but
yeah,
I think 100 is fair.
Yeah, it's fair for all circles.
Yeah, and I think they want to keep that low barrier to entry, so that way, someone who at least has $100 is not a Benjamin is nothing to sneeze at.
True.
So if you're going to go ahead and actually put down $100, I would assume I would say a fair amount for a license.
Yeah.
Muzi, have you seen this next story?
Nope.
Okay, so ARMS fan games. So it's already out. Someone already made an ARMS fans game, if you could believe it.
I'm not surprised.
But here's what's interesting about it is that Nintendo wants to see.
Really?
Yes, they actually want to go ahead and see they want to go ahead and actually talk to this person, whoever made it.
Really?
So yeah, so it's rather interesting that this one is not getting shot down really quick.
I'm actually kind of surprised, and I'm also calling Nintendo a bunch of fucking hypocrites.
Well, it's never too late to turn over a new leaf.
Yeah, but it's still pretty hypocritical.
Well, I look at it this way. This could be the start of them going, hey, wait a minute, the fan community's coming up with these good ideas. If we help them publish it,
we can make money off it.
We're in on it too, but people are getting what they want.
Right. Or they get the people who are making it, and then they get them to their side.
Yeah.
So,
which is what they have done for some of the Pokemon games.
Mm-hmm.
And
which is actually good for a lot of these people who are making these games, because sometimes that's what they want to do for a living.
Right.
Yeah, like...
And if stuff like this gets them noticed...
That's like, hey, you want a job at Nintendo?
Sure!
I'm willing to bet any game developer, indie or otherwise, if they grew up with Nintendo and they got a call from them saying, hey, we like your stuff, you want to come and join us?
I mean, pretty competitive offer.
Yeah.
Hell, even people who don't make games would love to work for Nintendo.
No shit.
Admit it, if you got a chance to do concept art for a Pokemon game, Zero, you would jump on that.
No kidding. There were some crazy ideas I'd love to make real.
I would believe it.
Yeah.
I would believe it. So we got two quick little stories. We'll go over the first one quickly because, well, we have one more reason to go to Japan now, Zero.
Nintendo World. Super Nintendo World.
Super Nintendo World!
Yeah.
Can we, go now?
No, because it's not built yet, Mizzy.
Yeah, but we can watch them build.
Yeah, but it's not going to be as exciting as actually going there.
Well, technically, if we do go to Japan, there's a lot of other stuff we could also do.
Right, but I'm saying, unless they actually have people in Toad outfits, actually building it brick by brick, I don't think it's going to be much fun watching them build Super Nintendo World.
I'm just picturing Toads trying to build it while Peach is yelling through a microphone. Get to work, you lazy slackers!
Yeah, but you wouldn't be able to understand it because it's Japanese.
Fair enough, but still.
Still, the idea of The idea of a bunch of Japanese construction workers working in toad outfits while they have a woman standing in for Peach giving them commands from with a megaphone. That is rather funny.
Yeah.
But
And of course they have like a guy dressed as an Italian plumber testing all the jumping mechanics and stuff like that.
So Super Nintendo World is breaking ground in Japan. They're building it as we speak, and we can expect it before the year 2020.
Then all of a sudden you hear this, "Get to work!"
Oh my god, that was spot on, Moose. Okay.
And lastly, as we're recording this,
E3 has begun.
E3 has begun, and EA has just done their abysmally awful...
They shit the bed. They shit the bed.
It's called E3 Play.
I have to
EA Play, I think it's called.
One of the streamers that I was watched this. They were commenting on it.
Right.
I have to agree with her. The one game that we cared about, they did a brief little thing and went, "Oh, you're gonna wait for the Microsoft thing." She's like, and then it goes back to an NBA game. She's like, "I don't care about your big orange balls. I want to see more about Anthem. You got me all hyped, and then you told me I have to wait."
What's the female equivalent of being blue-balled?
Edged.
It's called edged?
Well, it applies to either one, but basically the sensation of getting eagerly anticipating, and then being held off from the payoff, you're being edged.
Well,
it's like, oh my god, you give us a brand new BioWare IP that's starting to look awesome
with power armor.
Oh, you gotta wait for the rest of the information on this and a better trailer for when Microsoft does their thing.
And it's going to be Scorpio exclusive.
Oh yeah, I forgot Scorpio's
my boyfriend's eventually going to be getting a Scorpio, so I could probably play it on his.
Well, we'll have to see what the Scorpio is anyway, because we have.
Because everyone
it wouldn't surprise me if it was going to be compatible with both the Scorpio and the Xbox One.
Yeah, it's going to be their answer to the PS4 Pro.
Yeah, which I actually should get a PS4 Pro.
I'm going to get a PS4 Pro once I can afford it because I did not buy a PS4 early.
I did.
Anyway, let's quickly run through this list.
Madden 18, long shot, basically story mode Madden, don't give a fuck. Battlefield 1, Lost Tsar of Russia DLC, don't give a fuck. FIFA 18, really don't give a fuck.
With the Ponzi story mode featuring Adam Hunter.
Only game in that entire roster that I was even remotely interested was Anthem.
Yeah. Next up was Need for Speed Payback, which there was a lot of money shot for that game, which looked like Fast and the Furious.
Vin Diesel was stroking his shaft, his gear clutch vigorously.
I was thinking, isn't Vin Diesel himself just a giant prick?
Yeah, just make his ears a little bit bigger, and yeah, he comes into one of those cone heads from the Spy Kids movie. You know which ones I'm talking about, right?
I know.
Okay, good.
Next was A Way Out, which is basically like the two brothers, or...
It's made from the guys who made Brother, A Tale of Two Sons, except it's basically convicts, a tale of two
sideburns.
Sideburns, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Seriously, the mutton chops on the main character are friggin' long
and ridiculous. And not to mention, it's a two-party game which you either have to play online or on couch co-op.
Yeah.
Isn't that the one that has suspiciously scenes, like the jumping type scenes that look Uncharted-like?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and then
it's Uncharted: The Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah,
is what it seems like.
But they're essentially ripping off Uncharted 4 then, because part of what you do in Uncharted 4 toward the beginning is break out of a prison.
Well, except they're doing just that, and then they're ripping off Shawshank Redemption because it's basically you play as the new guy walking into the jail, and the hardened veteran helps you out.
Yeah.
Again,
see, there you go.
The only thing we're missing is going through the river of shit.
Now, which press conference do we have next?
Microsoft is tomorrow.
Oh, thank God.
So you won't have to wait that long? No.
Yeah, but I won't be home.
What about Bethesda? When is Bethesda's? Okay, so let's go through the...
I have the conference.
Okay, so before we go through the conference press times, we should continue...
Yeah, Bethesda... Let's see.
Microsoft... Continue with the games that were covered in EA first. So we have, after A Way of Two Sideburns, we have BioWare's new IP, Anthem, which was teased.
Yeah, and then it was...
Dicks.
And then it was the NBA Live 18, which no one gives a shit about because everyone prefers 2K. And
How do you know about that?
Because that's what KZ said on the live stream.
Okay, I was about to say because you don't play sports games.
I know, but everyone prefers 2K because it's better.
Uh-huh.
And let's see. Don't get me shit.
And then the last thing is Star Wars in the form of Battlefront 2
and
Galaxy of Hope, which is a mobile game.
Galaxy of Heroes.
Oh, Galaxy of Heroes.
What I find funny is it took one of the Star Wars cast to get them to put a story mode in the second one.
Oh, when what is
when he did the tweet?
Oh,
and,
when
like,
John Boyega did the
everybody
tweet,
on
yeah.
And on Twitter was like liking it and commenting on it.
That was what got EA to go like, oh yeah, we should have done that.
Yeah.
Oh,
It also means they wouldn't. It also means they would not have done that if no one had told them.
Bingo.
So
and that shows you just the kind of people EA are. By the way, the entire presentation was done really shittily.
Speak up more often.
Well, the most
so many people. They'll make a minor comment here and there, but.
Yeah. And I think the only person who got like a vast amount of screen time was the woman who was voice acting a character in Star Wars, and even then she had the enthusiasm of being tossed into a bin of life draining slugs.
We were razzing the crap out of the one guy they kept coming back to, the one in the sweater.
Oh yeah, him.
Yeah.
Because his face never moved.
It was like, hello.
It was the same expression. I was commenting in the chat when we were all watching it, and I was like,
EA needs to feed their reptilian skin soldiers better.
No, that was the EA Hypebot.
No,
it was EA Hypebot version 0.1. It's still in beta.
They've been in beta for 5 years.
Exactly.
Oh god, and the origin thing that they were talking about, like that system and all that stuff.
Oh yeah?
Oh, Hannah from Yogg's Cast was sitting with Ratters, one of the streamers that I watch.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, oh my god, this sounds like Abstergo. Oh my god.
I think
EA has made Abstergo real.
Yeah. I thought
she tweeted that out too.
I just thought Abstergo was like a stand-in for EA.
Oh god.
Okay, but I digress. Okay, so what's coming up next for the EA for the E3 conference?
Well,
better get a damn good Anthem trailer after
Sunday
that.
when we post this, it's going to be Microsoft in the early afternoon and Bethesda at around evening midnight for us.
Well, no, it's actually going to be 10 o'clock for us. It's going to be a little bit earlier for the Alaskans.
Yeah,
I'm not going to be home.
And then Monday we got the PC gaming show, Ubisoft, and Sony. And
Question is there going to be a way for me to watch it since I'm not home?
Twitch.
Yeah, but can I watch it later?
Probably there'll be replays.
Yeah, or you can find someone else who posted like highlights from it.
Yeah, there's always going to be highlight stuff.
Ratters is commenting. Her and Hannah are going to be like doing commentary for all the different ones. So I'm betting I can watch their VODs later.
There you go.
Yeah, and then finally on Tuesday, Nintendo is closing it up at early in the morning, actually.
Yeah, Nintendo will be closing up in the morning, although they said that they're switching immediately after the spotlight to their own treehouse for more details. So it might be slightly longer than what people anticipate.
And there's something right after Bethesda. KZ Excellent, who I was watching, mentioned that. I think there was some other kind of group, another like small developer group going right after Bethesda. So I don't know if I'll see that or not, but we'll find out.
Yeah, so the big ones right now, EA, Microsoft, Bethesda, Ubisoft, Sony, and Nintendo all have their slots split up with the PC gaming show for those who are interested in that.
And I think
there was two games that Akari's going to be pissed if they don't show more off of, he said. He wants to see, obviously, more of Last of Us 2.
Of course.
Which tons of people want to see. I actually want to see it because I think the story is probably going to be pretty interesting after what happened in the first one. He also he's hoping that they show more of the Resident Evil 2 remake.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that was also mentioned a while back.
And I don't blame him, because they've done pretty good with some of the remakes. Mm-hmm. So that should be interesting to see.
Yeah. Since we're posting that out there, Muzi, are there any games you want to see Hopefully see more of, aside from the aforementioned Anthem.
Oh man, I did have a bunch on my brain, and my brain has just like exploded today. But I'm hoping to see, they actually do a good job again this year, because Sony broke the internet last year.
Yeah, Sony has been on point.
Yeah,
They have won E3 like 2 to 3 years in a row.
pretty much, yeah. Like,
They
Nintendo's...
broke the internet with the Final Fantasy VII remake. I want to see more about that.
Oh, yeah. We have to see Final Fantasy VII, and we have to see Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh no, it's not related to Final Fantasy VII. Final Fantasy VII I don't know about. What I do know about is Hideo Kojima is not showing up to E3. He said that Death Stranding is not ready yet. We're not going to do anything. He posted a teaser regarding bridges, and Spider-Web and left it at that.
Yeah.
See, that's smart of him, though, because if it's not ready to show off, don't promise people something that you can't come through with.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet what he showed us those first 2 times was basically concept art for the most part.
Yeah.
It's pretty much, this is the kind of thing we want to do. This isn't the game.
Tone setting.
But this is to give you...
This is just to give you a taste of what's to come.
Tone setting is, I think, the key term that we're going for.
I'd call it an appetizer.
Sorry, Muzzy, we didn't mean to steal your thunder. So what game? So you were looking for towards what?
Oh, good lord. I do want to see more, about Last of Us. I want to see more about the Uncharted. It's pretty much almost a new game.
Mm-hmm.
The expansion where you're with Chloe.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's supposed to be more of that.
Okay.
Alrighty. So, what are you looking forward to, Leo?
Okay, I will tell you up front, I'm looking forward to a new FromSoft game, but it's not the series anyone is thinking of.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot one. Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
There we go.
It is not Bloodborne 2 that I'm looking forward to.
I doubt they're going to do a Bloodborne 2.
I don't even care if they... I don't care. I don't want to see anything Soulsborne related from FromSoft. What I want to see is Armored Core.
You want to see Armored Core?
I want to see Armored Core 6 because they screwed the pooch on 5.
Oh yeah, didn't you have 5?
I bought 5 because I thought it would be good, and then I opened it up and realized, no, it's multiplayer only.
Oh.
So they basically turned it into a MOBA, which I said, no thank you, I'm gone.
You're like, screw it.
Yeah, because the whole thing the whole series prior to that point was single player, and you could do multiplayer if you wanted to. Yeah. But it was basically a solo player experience where you built a mecha, you went into political machinations with people. It was basically off-brand Gundam. But instead of focusing on beam sabers, you actually had to shoot things.
You had Gatling guns, you had cannons.
Yes, and so it was a lot more run and gun than it was hack and slash, which is what unfortunately, I have not found something to sate that itch. And my only other alternative, if they don't come out with an Armored Core 6, is to basically buy a Vita. Because that's the only place that apparently they republish the Armored Core games on, which is weird in my opinion. I hope that they have more Fallout 4 DLC. I hope they come up, if not Fallout 4 DLC, then I want to see a special edition that comes with all of it. Because at this point, it's basically $100 if you want to get everything for that game now.
Yeah, I'm not even bothering getting the DLC.
Right, so
because honestly, I want to sound like an asshole, but I tried Fallout 4. It was fun for a while.
Yeah.
I can't be invested.
Fallout, yeah, and that's the biggest flaw with we'll have a talk about that. But basically, the difference between Fallout 3 and New Vegas and 4 is that 4, because it tries to go ahead and give you a much more concrete story, screws up the point that you could be whoever you want it to be.
Yeah.
And so, because of the whole voice acting direction and whatnot, they shot themselves in the foot by giving their character a voice.
Yeah.
And that's where I can sum up the problems in a nutshell. But aside from that, I'm looking forward to... I'm praying that we get some sort of Metroid franchise. An actual Metroid franchise, i.e. Federation Force is not covering it. Federation Force is in the garbage. It does not exist.
I still have a copyright strike on my Divide by Zero video from Nintendo for the footage from Federation Force. I ain't getting rid of that. I'm just putting that up as a memorial, a monument to Nintendo's bullshit.
To the malarkey that it is. Let me see. I'm trying to think of any other games that I'm looking forward to. I don't think that there's anything on the indie front that I could say that I'm looking forward to. There is, I think, maybe 1 or 2 games that could come that I don't think I will hear anything from, but it would be nice if I could. There's one that's called Death's Reward. It's basically Adult Swim Games' attempt at a Soulsborne game.
I see.
Which is really weird because that's the last place you would look for a Soulsborne game from Adult Swim.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
I would be impressed if Ubisoft gave us anything on God of War. I would be thoroughly impressed if we got God
I
of
thought
War.
that was Sony's baby, not Ubisoft.
Oh, the Sony, sorry. I would be impressed if Sony gave us anything with God of War.
Yeah.
And Ubisoft, I guess if I have to put anything out there, I'm looking forward to seeing more about South Park.
Okay, so for me, for FromSoft's thing, I'm hoping it's not Bloodborne 2, because Bloodborne was such a perfectly wrapped up little present wrapped with tentacles. But what I'm kind of hoping for is here's the thing, FromSoft is good at making a starting game.
There's Code Vein also. We completely forgot that Code Vein.
Oh yeah, Code Vein from Namco Bandai.
Yeah.
Which is looking really interesting. It's anime as fuck with vampires,
right.
and usually I hate vampires, but this actually looked kind of ridiculous. It kind of felt like Bayonetta levels of ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
While we hit the Nintendo spot, I'm also waiting for Super Mario Odyssey.
That's not coming till... I'm willing to bet they're either going to say... They're going to put a date for November on that.
Okay, so I completely forgot, but remember a while back I was talking about they were... within the Steam version of AO1,
yeah,
that there were clips streamed of characters doing actions 3 times.
Yeah.
I am wondering if we're going to hear anything about Bayo 3.
I don't think we are.
Or, and more importantly, what system?
That's true, but I'm going to go ahead and say that, stop you right there. There actually has been reports, GameXplain actually reported on this, that they barely have a concept for Bayonetta 3 right now.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not going to see it this E3.
Well, remember...
We might get a teaser thing saying, yes, it's official, we're getting.
I was going to say, because remember, the big thing about Bayonetta 2 was that it was announced for the Wii U.
Yeah.
So they don't have to do much to get people hyped for it. They just have to say it exists, and the biggest question that everyone's wondering is, who's going to get her?
Yeah.
That's the real question, because if it comes out on the Switch versus the PS4, that's going to set the tone.
Yeah.
So that's going to be really where the expectations are going to be set, depending on what system it comes out on.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, more important than the fact that Bayo 3 is a thing.
Mm-hmm. So,
go ahead.
Other than that, I'm trying to think, as I was trying to go on my train of thought before, FromSoft has a habit of, with their sequel games, not being as good.
Mm-hmm.
Dark Souls 2 and Dark Souls 3, not as good as the first Dark Souls. And Bloodborne is perfect the way it is. If there's a Bloodborne 2, I'm going to be seriously pissed unless they do something amazing with it.
So unless they're actually fighting Cthulhu,
yeah,
you're gonna go ahead and put this in the trash.
No, I'll still play it, but I'm going to be giving it a thrashing if it's not as good.
Okay.
So I'm hoping for a new Souls-like game from them.
Okay.
Or maybe a new IP in general.
Okay.
Let's see. For Sony, I'm actually kind of interested in the new God of War because I've never been a fan of God of War, but
I don't play them, but I want to see the story.
I think now that you've because character action games like Devil May Cry and God of War are essentially like Bayonetta. So I think now that you've kind of had that tasting with her,
yeah,
you might get into this. And considering they're going with a slightly more,
it's kind of like a whole new reboot with
it. Well, because this is what everyone wanted a God of War 2 to be. They didn't want it to be, let's just pound the Olympians into the dust. They want to see, okay, he conquered the Olympians. Now let's go see where else. Let's go everywhere else.
Yeah,
I was about to say he's out of Olympians to.
Yeah. He's out of Olympians to kill, pretty much.
Right.
So he's moved on to the North.
Well, that would be something incredible to see.
One of the other ones that got teased for later on is a new Assassin's Creed game.
Okay. Can I continue going on, Muzi? I keep getting cut off. Let's see. For Nintendo, I am looking forward to Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I'm willing to bet that it's not that they might have to push it back to spring of next year
Mm-hmm.
because I actually heard that they're still working on composing the music for it.
Mm.
So
I want that done right.
if they're still working on the music, then that means they're either still working on the game or because they had already teased at a 2017 release for the winter.
Mm.
I'm thinking they're going to have to push it back. Let's see. I think there was also that game Octopath Traveler that they hinted at, which seemed to be like a Bravely Default style game. So I'm wondering about that as well.
Okay. Anything from Ubisoft or Bethesda you want to hope for?
Not really Ubisoft because I kind of don't like most of the stuff. I don't even like Rayman. That's a series that never really synced with me.
Gotcha. I hear you.
Because I played the one on the 64, which
Oh yeah,
Ray-
that'd be your problem.
yeah, I started there.
Oh boy.
There be your problem. And we've already heard your opinions about Bethesda with Fallout 4 recently.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a new Elder Scrolls game.
Well, see, they just
It's been 5 years since Skyrim.
right, but even then, the last thing they put out, they've been solely working Elder Scrolls Online recently,
That's true.
and they just came out with Morrowind for that. So I'm not. If anything, we'll talk more about that. I would love to see if they went actually back to the consoles with it, but I'm doubting it. I'm very skeptical about that.
Yeah,
I'm skeptical about them coming back to the consoles than I am about Bayonetta 3.
really.
Yes, that's what I'm putting my money on.
Akari also doesn't want another Elder Scrolls game because he's sick of Skyrim.
To be fair, I guarantee you
They've remastered it so many freaking times.
we are
that it's
going
just
to get
like,
a Switch port.
Oh, of course we're getting a Switch port. Now the question is, will they allow mods on the port?
Oh no.
I'm waiting for the new Assassin's Creed because this time, instead of just rehashing some of the stuff they've already gone over, this time it's going further back. We're talking like Egypt, the origin of the Templars.
Okay, that might be interesting. But
Well,
then
Yeah,
again,
so it's Egyptian this time.
Well, that'll appeal to you considering you're on an Egyptian hike right now.
yes, I
So-
am. And
This would actually be a cool concept if they do it right.
If
So
they
looking
do it right,
forward
is the key
to
phrase.
hopefully seeing more about that.
yeah, but I think that's pretty much all our predictions for E3 for the moment.
Yeah. This will conclude our sort of season once we have the E3 next week.
Yeah,
We'll be doing a special podcast for that specifically.
yeah, that'll be for season 4 of the podcast, and I'll try to promote that new podcast a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see.
I'll try to.
And to all our viewers who have actually listened to this far, thank you for listening to this. I know we ramble on for hours and
But
hours.
please share our work with other people on the internet, so that way we can get more views, and hopefully that will encourage us to go ahead and start doing more stuff together. Because we do the podcast, we do our game stuff, but we would really like to expand more and go back to sort of our roots with Pokemon and things.
Yeah, like with the advent of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon coming out. Oh yeah, that's another thing I want to see more of.
Yes.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to see more of that. That was their teaser to get everyone to stay through to the end.
Yeah,
That was already confirmed. Yes, we're going to talk more about this.
Yeah.
So
but we're going to do what we originally had planned for our channel is to talk more about Pokemon.
Yes.
We're going to try to do the Pokemon type podcast. Like the original Pokemon type videos we've been doing have been fun, but they're a lot of work for me, and they take so long that by the time the next one comes out, a new generation's out.
I was
Yeah,
about to
it
say,
completely
it's
shuffles
tough
up.
to find the time to record them because they're special episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
what we're going to do is we're going to make 30-minute long videos just talking about the type and talking about some of the best Pokemon, some of the best moves and stuff like that, and some of the strategies.
Sure, we can go over that.
Just like 30-minute long videos. They're not going to have special images or stuff. Like maybe I'll do a slideshow of certain Pokemon.
But that would be it.
Pretty much it. And I'd like
Feedback from anyone, whoever we can get it from.
bingo.
Well, because the more people that we have that put out their opinion, the more we can decide
the more
which direction to go with things.
Absolutely.
You know?
And of course, we're also going to try to do more like reaction videos to like
getting
the
the
news.
timing to things and stuff down. So
Yeah,
we'll,
I will get these chuckleheads on Skype if I have to record it.
I have no problem getting on Skype. It's the other one you have to drag.
Oh God, yeah.
But yeah, so that's.
We also still need to attempt some Mario Kart and see how that goes.
Oh yeah, you guys do need to try that out.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that? Because I know we're still doing some Fortune Street.
Yeah, there's still about 3 more episodes of Fortune Street, and then we can start doing Shovel Knight.
Okay, we're still recording
Yay!
Shovel Knight, but we should have that finished relatively soon. We'll probably be taking a posting break for, I would say, the rest of June?
Probably it'll depend on how long I'm how I'm uploading the Shovel Knight videos. I might be doing it 2 times a week,
Okay.
so that'll actually give us more time to prep for any other Let's Plays we want to do.
What about the other one, the high school kid?
The
High school's, I forgot the series, Black and White Bear.
Danganronpa?
Thank you.
Danganronpa.
Yes.
That one, I'm going to have to... That one's been such a bitch to work on. Because I don't know how the hell we're going to do that one. I'm going to save that one for way, way later when I can get Legend here to record more.
Mm-hmm.
Just by himself, because I don't know if you want to join in on that.
I think I'm better off not I'm better off not in for that one, but I think that we'll have other things. And depending on how we can do it, we could probably do other things with just you and me while I'm here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be... I think I'm going to hold that one off. It might be a little side project thing we do while me and Legend are also working on Dragon's Dogma.
Right.
Because that's another one we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
Because Danganronpa kills our throats. We can only do like 3 episodes and before we're like, fucking hell!
Right.
But what you could also do with that is kind of do an alternating upload. Like, you put out a few episodes of Shovel Knight, and then, like, on a certain day, put out a Danganronpa episode.
Yeah,
And
I
then-
might actually do Danganronpa once a week if that's the case.
I was going to
Yeah.
say something along those lines.
Kind of take Shovel Knight videos twice a week, and then put a Danganronpa one, like, at the end of the week or something
Yeah,
like that.
that could work out relatively well on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday type thing.
Yeah, like Monday and Wednesday it could be Shovel Knight, Friday it would be Danganronpa.
Right, and that's at least Sunday for the podcast.
And it would give you time to space out the Danganronpa episodes, record, edit, and then have them ready for, like, each week instead of,
Right.
like, a couple of days,
Right.
Yeah.
We'll also go through some of the other stuff, Wii U, PS4 library, see what else we can do from here.
I do kind of want to do either Thousand Year Door or Super Paper Mario.
I would be down for either of those, and I think I'm
Thousand Year Door.
I'm
Thousand
more
Year
familiar with Thousand Year Door. If it's whitelisted, we could probably do that one with no problem.
It is whitelisted, but we can still do it because here's the funny thing. I
Game
post...
Grumps have been uploading Thousand Year Door.
Yeah, and here's the thing. When I did my rant video,
Yeah.
the thing that got flagged by Federation Force about Color Splash,
Yeah.
I posted footage from all the Mario games.
Yeah.
And it was like 30 seconds, if not more.
Right.
It never got flagged. That footage never got flagged. It was
Yeah,
only the
it's-
Federation Force stuff because it was
yeah,
so
it's
new.
certain Mario games, and it seems the Paper Mario games are ones that you can post.
Mm-hmm.
Because
So-
Game Grumps have been playing Thousand Year Door for a while now, and
Yeah,
Their
and I
videos
know
haven't
that
gotten
there's
taken down.
definitely clips of Super Paper Mario that are out there that aren't flagged.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I definitely think that you and me, because I know we did a little bit of Super Paper Mario together, and I know a lot more Thousand Year Door.
Yeah, like Thousand Year Door is the game that I've beaten the most out of the Paper Mario series.
Yeah.
And so...
that's where they perfected it.
Yeah, they really did compare it to Paper Mario.
By the way, we're not going to get a port for that on the Switch anytime soon. Because they had just released Color Splash, and there was still a whole kerfuffle about that.
Yeah, to be fair,
And
that's-
if they posted that, it's politics for this. If they post Thousand Year Door on the Switch, that means they're admitting that Thousand Year Door was better. And that they fucked up.
They could actually word it as to, we've heard fans would appreciate this game being re-released.
Oh yeah,
And
but
then
everyone
twist it
knows
as
that.
to where we're appeasing the fans. You know?
Everyone knows that means basically the entire Color Splash division had to commit ritual seppuku to apologize for that disgrace.
Yeah, they had to use paintbrushes to commit seppuku.
Ah, that's hardcore.
But yes, we will have to thrash each other on Mario Kart.
Either that or death by 1,000 paper cuts.
The salt will flow.
The salt will certainly flow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so as a last resort, we could always go ahead. I could always help you get that adapter for the PS3 because I did purchase as part of my, or one of the things I did get over my birthday was the other Dragons game, Dragon's Crown.
Oh, God. Actually, the one game that I would like to, is because we had so much fun with it, Tales of Grace's F.
I'm trying to remember which of the Tales games.
That's the one with the prince that we knew was evil.
Oh, God, yeah.
And the little,
the ominously obvious bad guy.
Yeah. It's still a pretty good game.
Mm.
It's a good game.
gotta
I mean, it's
admit
obvious
that's funny.
as fuck.
Yes.
Yeah. You gotta admit that that's funny, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had so much fun riffing on that.
True, very true. Okay.
And it's actually not that hard to grind that game.
Oh, you know what would be great if they would release for the eShop?
What?
Xenosaga.
Oh, you know what? That's not going to happen because that part of Monolith is owned by Sony.
Wait.
Yeah.
On the
It's,
PS4.
it's still owned by Namco Bandai.
Oh, okay, there you go.
It's still owned by Namco
Yeah,
Bandai.
they
Xenosaga.
can actually put
That's
that
why
on
that's why Cosmos was in Project Cross Zone.
Yeah.
No, they can actually put that on the PS4 if they wanted to, because
That's what
they
I was
are
saying,
progressively putting
But they would
more
still
PS2 games.
need to get permission from Namco Bandai.
And Monolith Soft, who is now owned by
And-
Nintendo.
That
Oh,
would
okay,
be
there you go.
making them
That
Because
that's the kicker. That's the kicker.
Monolith is now considered a first-party developer for Nintendo.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, okay, now that complicates things.
Very much
Okay.
so.
They would
but-
still be getting money from this.
Right, but we will.
And the majority of the rights are Namco Bandai. So.
There's one other game that I'm looking to see if maybe we could do, and I would most certainly be able to finance it. But I'd have to discuss it with Zero and Legend to see which one that is, and I'll keep that under wraps until then.
Okay,
But for now, everyone, thank you for bearing with us. Enjoy E3 season as it rolls around, and we'll be getting back to you in a week.
yeah,
I
so
was
this
about
is
to
Leo
say,
Force.
and we will be back.
And we will be back. This is Leo Force.
This is Muzi.
this is Zero of the Legend Hunters signing out.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.